I will destroy you, Minotaur. It's Amigos, episode 374.
Whoa!
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Amigos. I'm John.
And I'm Theseus.
And today, Aaron, we're going to be talking about Final Odyssey.
Indeed.
You know, what is our obsession with cows?
Well, they're good eating, Boat. That'd be my guess.
I mean, think about it. You got one of the most fearsome bad guys of all time, the Minotaur. What is he? He's a cow that walks upright.
Yeah. He's a big bull-looking guy. I'll grant you that. But listen, he's half man, half bull. That's what makes him scary. Anytime you mix a normal guy with an animal, that you got some sweet action there. There's no combination of animal and man that can't be some sort of horrible monstrosity.
I was going to say, is there anything left? Have they covered everything as far as, blank man?
Well, the comic books have provided many of the answers to the questions. For example, what happens if you combine a man or a woman with a squirrel or a rhinoceros or a dinosaur? All those things have been taken care of. You've got human condors, human bats. You've got human vultures, eagles. This has all been taken care of. So you've got to get really, I suppose, and even you've got like human sharks, stuff like that. So I guess the last bastion of animals that haven't really been tinkered with might be stuff like, I don't know if there's like a human whale, for example. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Yeah,
that'd be Whale man. Some like underwater deep sea creatures that were combined with a man. Maybe an eel. Eel man.
Their eel man has to have been done. Yeah, that's too good not to do.
Well, what would he be built like?
Obviously he'd have legs, but instead of a body, he'd just be the writhing form of an eel. That would strike hearts in the fear of everybody.
Well, I mean, the thing is, presumably he'd have legs and arms, and you'd really lose a lot of the eel aesthetic.
Well, I think you'd probably forego the arms in that situation. And then I guess whenever you have a creature without arms, just by design, they sort of look ridiculous.
Yeah, they don't seem tough
lose some
either.
of the fright factor. Yeah.
Although you could have like a humanoid snake and get away with no arms. You could pull that trick off.
Mm-hmm. You ever see that movie Snake?
I have seen that. It's called I did see that. Yeah. Pretty good. I probably watch it with you now. Think about it.
Probably so. We probably watched that together.
Some of the lower rent movies, they get into the realm of mixing man and creature. There's also the horrible movie Dr. Moreau's The Isle of Dr. Moreau. It had
Leonardo DiCaprio was in
that,
right?
No, not that. No. It had what's the guy's name that played? He played Batman. The blonde. He was in Top Secret.
Nolan.
No, the Top Secret guy. He was also in Top Gun. The blonde guy.
Oh yeah, the guy that was in the Batman nipples.
That's right, him. He was in
Lawrence
it.
Fishburne.
Val Kilmer. Thank you, bum.
Yeah.
And it was horrible, but it was about mixing up the species and stuff. So that goes to show you that it's not always a ratings winner if you do it. Mm-hmm. But let's hope genetics never go down that road.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Aaron, we're gonna leave this harrowing subject and move on to some lighter fare with this week's Amiga News.
Let it be.
Amiga News.
Now, Aaron, when it comes to cheerleaders for the Amiga 500 Mini, you are amongst the world's greatest.
Correct.
You not only are you an avid user of the A500 Mini, but you're also neck deep in the homebrew scene. Amy J, what is his name? Amy Jimmy,
yes.
You and him are best buds. Well, this is something that's going to take your A500 Mini to the next level, Aaron. This is a video that displays a working keyboard for the A500 Mini. What do you think about this thing, man?
I watched this. Watching the guy build this, it made me wonder what was going on in this man's world. Because this has got to be one of the most intricate and delicate procedures, and the end product is one of the dumber things I've ever seen. I mean, listen, I'm not burying this guy because he does a good job, because he literally went to if you're not seeing the video, this guy literally makes the keys, the little plastic keys on the A500 Mini, like real keys. Like you could type them just like that.
He uses some really, really tiny micro switches, and he makes it happen. But I guess at the end of the day, this is cool. But like you said, is it a working keyboard? Yes. Is it a usable keyboard? Debatable.
Well, I mean, listen, you've got to give this guy 2 A's, an A+ for effort.
Absolutely.
The fact that this guy went through, and his thing is, just to fill you in, he uses the keys that come with it. So the plastic keys, he takes a scalpel or an X-Acto knife and individually cuts out each key.
Wow.
Right? There's a lot of small cuts involved in this project, and glue and craziness. This guy is a madman, but he's my kind of crazy genius. Now, I would guarantee you no one will ever do this again. He has the only one of these on the earth. And which makes it valuable, I guess, to somebody. But it is an unbelievable project.
I mean, this is obviously a custom PCB that he's built. Or
yes,
that he's had made.
He actually designed
connector.
It.
I mean, this is you want to talk about a labor of love. This is a labor of love,
among other things. He's a madman.
Yeah.
What's this guy's name? Did you catch his name? I've got to find out what his name is, because we got to give this guy a plug. Just for his madness. Retro Friends is a channel.
Yeah.
Just like the Super Friends boat.
Yeah.
So you got to check this out. Even if you don't give a crap about the A500 Mini, if you just enjoy watching someone do something that's absolutely mad and crazy insane, this is your guy right here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we move on from that to another video.
Hello, and
about another A500 keyboard mod. This was the week of the A500 keyboard mods, Aaron. So this one is using an original A500 keyboard on an Amiga Mini.
Yeah.
This is going about things, in a different way, where he essentially puts the guts of the Amiga Mini in an A500 keyboard. Aaron, you've done something similar to this in the past. Basically, wasn't this sort of the promise of the Unamiga? Just where you have this new board that does everything you want that you put into an existing A500.
Well, actually, I hadn't done the math, but yeah, I thought you were going to talk about the C64 I built. But yes, this is sort of the same. I mean, in fact, it's a lot the same in a lot of ways. I will tell you that the fellow that built this little gimmick, he used the Arduino, and he also uses the exact same thing I use on the C64 USB keyboard interface. This guy went on to release a video after this one, which I also recommend, where he takes the C64 and he takes an Amiga A500 Mini, and he puts them both into this A500 case. And if you noticed when he was showing the case has like a window carved in the top of it, right? And so you think to yourself, well, to save space, I'll just take the boards out of the plastic. Heck no. If you look in that little window, the C64 and the A500 Mini are both in there.
Wow.
And fully intact. It's
like a Russian nesting doll situation.
It's complete mad. This guy's out of his mind. He's another one. I saw the completed product. Now, there is one hiccup, and hiccup is the A500 keyboard only works on the A500 Mini. It doesn't work on the C64. He's got to plug an external keyboard in. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
But maybe he could figure that out somewhere down the line. But yeah, this is another wacky project. Give this one a look. He's another guy who's thinking outside the box. Let's just go there, Bode.
Now, Aaron, we talk a lot about gaming on the Amiga, but
that's
nobody's
all we
really
talk
talking
about.
Nobody's really talking about, in-depth reviews on some of the valuable productivity tools that are available on the Amiga. Now, we do get a lot, truth be told, of the artistic side of things. You get people talking about ray tracing programs, art programs. Well, Mikey G Retro has done a full video on the different sorts of spreadsheet programs that are available on the Amiga. Now, Aaron, when you were an Amiga user back in the day, how often did you fire up the old spreadsheet?
0 times, Boat. To be fair, though, I didn't fire it up on DOS or the Coco. I never used the spreadsheet if I could help it. This is a video devoted to all the different spreadsheets on the on the Amiga and the coverage they got. Listen, we made a decision a long time ago to never, under any circumstances, delve into the realm of hardware, and only occasionally to delve into the realm of like non-gaming apps. This is one of those rare occasions. But I got to give this guy credit because he's taken videos that are completely outside of the norm. He's got a video where it's nothing but like artistic programs. This is one where he did nothing but spreadsheets. He does that with, and like I think he's also got one. We maybe even covered this, but where it's nothing but word processors, right? So if you're thinking to yourself, listen, sure, we're getting all this gaming coverage, and we're getting all this hardware coverage, but where's the word processing? And where, by God, is the spreadsheets? This guy has come in out of the blue to take care of your business, and he goes through these things in a long and drawn out way, but not too long. So you get the full deal. 15-minute video, you're in, you're out. I suggest if you're interested in that sort of thing, you give this guy a whirl. What'd you say this guy's name was, Boat?
Mikey G.
Mikey
Retro.
G. Check out his channel as well. We're plugging channels left and right, but this guy, hey, where are you going to get this kind of coverage? You ain't going to get it from us. That's for darn sure, Boat.
Absolutely right. Now, Aaron, this next video goes out to several members of our Discord community that are all in on the hottest physical cartridge system out there these days, the Evercade. After years of questioning, years of rumors and speculation, the Amiga has been confirmed to make an appearance on the Evercade. This was announced a couple weeks ago at Amiga 37 in Germany. Aaron, does this fill you with excitement and anticipation?
No, but it's definitely worth talking about because, listen, people love these Evercades. Like, I don't get it, but it is what it is. They love them. They love physical media. Oh, look, this comes with the instruction manual, all that jazz. If that's your cup of tea, I listen to the Pixel Gating podcast. Those guys are literally tripping over each other, beating each other with sticks to get hold of these things. They love it. They can't get enough of it. So if you love the Evercade, then you're thinking to yourself, hey, how about some? I want to rebuy some Amiga games on these little cartridges. Brother, you're in for it because they have announced that they're going to do it. I think C64 as well. I think this is the same outfit that actually owns the C64 and the A500 Mini. They're the ones. I guess they're just taking some of the games that they already licensed, just sort of shoving them over on the Evercade. Well, not a bad idea.
We don't really know because the game selection has not been announced yet.
Well, I did see some sort of
Did you see something?
Leaked game list.
Okay.
But this is the skinny that I've heard.
Okay.
We'll know in a week or two, or when they finally drop the hammer on all this stuff. But if you're into the Evercade, what's your thoughts on the old Evercade, Bo? That seems sort of kind of like something that might appeal to you.
Yeah, I mean, there is a part of me that is attracted to the Evercade, but there's also a part of me that's cheap and doesn't want to spend money on games that I already have. I haven't really heard stellar things about the feel of the buttons and the controller. And to me, the reason why you buy a piece of hardware to play games you already own, especially a portable system, is this thing will play the games better than, say, a hacked up Vita or a hacked up PSP like I've got. And the sort of general rule is no, they don't. Yeah. The buttons on a real portable system produced by a real player does better than one of these Evercade units, or of course the Chinese knockoffs that are.
I thought you were losing your mind for a second, but you brought it home, Boat, because you're right. Listen, there's you almost can't beat the old Vita, and I've got the old I said PCP. I'm taking a crap on a PCP, but I don't know if you mentioned that.
It's making all my games awesome.
I hope you're wearing makeup, otherwise it's kicking in. That you can't hardly beat those portable systems, or even somebody that's got like these hacked switches and stuff, if you're into that sort of thing. But with all that said, the appeal to these things, I'm not even sure the appeal is the actual playing of the games. I think the appeal of it is getting a box with instructions and it's colorful and the spines make a picture or whatever, that shtick, and you're sort of kind of into that kind of stuff. Oh yeah,
I'm into that. Like, I collect, I order books, like physical books of things, and I like having junk on my shelf. This is just not something that is particularly something that I want to go out and spend money on, but I understand the impulse for sure.
There you go. There you go. So anyway, hey, listen, this is exciting news if you've got the Evercade and one of the many new Evercades, because they keep cranking these new versions out. It seems like every year. So if you've got one of the 3 or 4 of these things that are around, you should be a happy boy. You can play some Amiga stuff, Boat.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Aaron, it went down last week.
Yeah.
The biggest Amiga convention in the United States, West 2022, went down over in Sacktown. And what an event it was.
Yeah.
I posted some pictures up here that Doug has posted from Tenmark. And looks like they had quite a nice crowd show up.
Yeah, they did.
There's some pictures here at the banquet, and just looking here, I see RJ Michael, large and in charge. Right there in the front.
He spoke.
I also see Mike from Cloanto over here, and so there's in fact I see Eric Nelson. So there's a lot of heavy hitters in the community.
Yeah.
Now I haven't actually seen anything that shows a kind of a trip report. I think Doug is probably hard at work making a video of a roundup of Ami West. But I just wanted to show, these are some pictures that he posted on Twitter, and it seems like everybody had a great time.
Listen, a few years ago they had one of these things, and it looked like about 12 people around a table and a bunch of old monitors, and we looked at this, we were like, man, what's this? And then I looked at this year, and it's like they probably had 100 people at this. At the bare minimum, they had 60 people at this thing, a mighty hall.
Yeah,
and all kinds of pro speakers. They streamed it. Now the stream got a little wacky on occasion because that stuff's hard to pull off. But I'm sure the live crowd got a real good treat out of the deal. The banquet was supposed to be a big hit. I caught a little bit of the banquet. I did catch, really, the only guy I saw pretty much in their entirety was Doug. I did catch Doug's set up there. It was nice. A lot of it was just like Doug talking about some of the stuff that's coming in for the art competition. So that was pretty neat. But yeah, congratulations to all the folks out at Ami West for what looks like an outstanding show and Boat. I'd say they are on the grow. As I suspected, every convention this year is getting double and triple and quadrupled up because suckers can't wait to get out of their house. They've been cooped up for far too long, Boat.
Absolutely, absolutely. So congratulations to Tech Mage, friend of the show, and the whole team of organizers over at Ami West for a successful event. I can't wait to see the recap video.
Let me ask you a question here, Boat. I got 2 things I want to ask. I didn't know if you were going to make an announcement tonight about anything, but I am going to make a quick announcement, just a heads up. About 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tonight, finally, we are actually getting into Conversations from the Dark Side.
Yes.
Join myself and Boat will be there, and of course, my buddy Flack's going to co-host with me for all the crazy comings and goings. We're going to talk about Halloween traditions, ghost stories, whatever people want to talk about. It should be a lot of fun. If you're interested in coming by and telling your story, there's a Zoom link in the Discord. And for everyone that would like to watch the show, it will be on this same channel. It'll be on Twitch, Amigos Retro Gaming, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then directly after that, I'll be raiding my buddies over at the T-Speaker Regulars. They're going to have a Halloween live-action Vampire the Masquerade role-playing game, which I'll be playing in, I might add.
Oh, man.
In fact, I'm playing a Roman guy. You see a theme here, Boat? Although tonight I'm a Greek.
Now, is this now? I want to try and whet the potential viewers' appetites.
Yeah.
Is this a game in costume? Is Pat going to be dressed up?
No,
is Dale going to be
no. I
dressed
don't
up?
think so. I don't think so. I think
okay.
Well, it depends. Are they if they're vampires or like slovenly doofuses? Then I'd say they'll be in full costume. Otherwise, they'll just be wearing what they usually do, Boat. So there you go. Boat, did you have anything else you wanted to announce?
So there's one more. If you refresh the page, you'll probably see it. But
right.
a couple weeks ago, we talked about another convention that has recently just opened its doors for 2023. Amiga Ireland. As you know, I've attended Amiga Ireland twice before, and third times is the charm. I am returning to Amiga Ireland this year. the first couple of years that I went sort of as an employee of Amigos. Obviously
We don't pay nothing.
well, yes, actually, our fine listeners paid very well for me to go over there, and so I did the best I could to stream the event, to do some contests, to interview a bunch of people. But at the same time, I didn't really get to hang out with the people there that much because I was always sitting behind a laptop screen making sure the stream wasn't going down. So
Yeah.
this time I'm going back as a spectator, as a fan of the Amiga, and as somebody that just wants to hang out and have a good time. So I'm very excited to be going, especially when I saw the list of people that were also going to be in attendance, including many members of our fine Discord. However, Aaron, there were always the calls for, why are you going? Why is Aaron not going?
Well,
So
to be honest with you, I didn't even know you were going until you'd already booked your flight and were out the door. I had no idea you were going. I was the last to know. So that's great. I hope you have a good time. Hey, one of these days I might make it over there to the old Ireland. I'd love to visit Ireland, if I'm honest. And all points around the UK, I would love to visit there, but I'd want to take some time. I can't be rushed. I need to have time, and that would require some things that I can't currently do. So it should be fun for you, Bode. You know what's they're gonna get you on sucker duty the second you walk through the door. You know that's gonna happen.
If you are a member of our Discord community and you haven't checked out the local meetups channel, make sure you go there. We have rented out pretty much a full bed and breakfast to ourselves. We're redubbing it Amigos Towers. Chris Folds and Edvin Helland have booked a room together. They're calling it the Love Nest.
Creepy.
So
creepy.
you can join the fun and join the party. Athlone, Ireland, January 13th and 14th, I believe it is. January 13th, 14th, and 15th. Be there or be square, AmigaIreland.ie.
Are you going to be there for every day of this thing, Bode?
I'm going to be there. I'm actually getting there a day early. I'm going to leave on Wednesday, get there Thursday morning, and because here's the thing, man. Athlone is not a place that you just want to hang out in the Sheraton ballroom all the time.
No.
There's a castle. There's the world's oldest pub.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of great restaurants. So Thursday, I'm going to take some time, stroll about town, have myself a nice cold Guinness by the warm fire over at Sean's Bar.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat some great fish and chips. Go over to oh man, I can't remember the name of the place where there's always the after party, but that's a great place to go anytime. And I'm going to enjoy myself. And then Friday and Saturday, it's going to be all Amiga all the time.
I'm looking at this lineup here, Bode. You got John Hare is going to be there. Volker Wertich, the guy that did the Settlers. He was also behind Blue Byte. Ask him about that tennis game. Dave Haney, your boy, and Jacob Gorm Hansen of Naughty Boys fame. Naughty Ones.
Naughty Ones. The infamous episode where we had the throwdown.
And of course, David Pleasance and Trevor Dickens will be on hand.
They'll
have the shtick standing by, but
I do have to mention this since Edvin brought it up in the chat. We talked about this pre-show, but I wanted to make it public. Edvin gets on there, and I didn't realize Edvin was even had this in mind. He's like, man, the loft room, the King Dong room at this place looks great. And I was like, yeah, it does look great. And so I booked it. And then Evan's like, I'm going to try and book it right now. And I knew in my heart it was already gone. So I told him Chris Folds booked it instead.
What?
And I laughed.
You framed Folds? Clearly you haven't been watching his workout videos. He will pound you in the sand, Bode.
That's true. I'll avoid Folds on this trip because I'm afraid he's going to hit me with a right hook. So anyway, Amiga Ireland, be there. All right, Aaron, it's time to move on to talk about the best place to go if you are looking to get some fine equipment for your Commodore or your Coco Tandy Color computer, and that is RetroRewind.ca. Aaron, there's a lot of places you can go for Amiga stuff. You got your Amiga kit, you got your AmigaStore.eu, you got your Amiga on the Lake.
Yeah.
All those places, I'm not going to say anything bad about them.
No.
Okay? I'm not going to bury them. Not today. But if you are on the hunt for a specific piece of hardware or software, make RetroRewind.ca your first stop, and I'll tell you why. Number one, Frank is a truly committed member of the Commodore community. He truly cares about what he's doing and what he makes. He doesn't use cheap parts. He uses nothing but the best. Two, you can get whatever you want in one place, whether it's hardware, whether it's diagnostics, whether it's capacitors, or if you need service on your machine, you can get it all done in one place. And three, Frank has got what's got to be the cheapest prices around. He's practically given this stuff away. The prices are so cheap. You can get yourself anything from a full recap service on your CDTV. If somebody asked me, how much are you going to pay for that? I'd say, I'll give you $200 to do a full recap. That's a lot of work. Frank's got it done for $52. That's nothing. That's nothing.
Especially after you bought one of those suckers. That cost a fortune. Don't cheap out on the service, yo.
That's right. Now, head on over to RetroRewind.ca, load up your cart with goodies, and use the promo code Amigos10 at checkout to save yourself 10% off Frank's already low prices. Listen, man, you know that you're a Commodore nut. You know you've got an Amiga that needs some love. Head on over to Retro Rewind, load it up, give your computers love, and they will love you in return.
Give them love, damn it. That's right.
RetroRewind.ca. We thank them for being an official sponsor of the Amigos. Aaron, let's talk about Final Odyssey.
Ooh, that's ominous music, Boat.
Yes,
that can only mean one thing, my friend. It means Theseus is on the prowl. In Final Odyssey, Theseus versus the Minotaur. Cool name, Boat.
Yes.
You got a lot of stuff going on there. So, Theseus versus the Minotaur. Released late in the game, Boatster, 1997. On one CD. This was a CD joint. This is the CD. This is a smartly done CD, which we'll get to that. One-player game published by an outfit called Vulcan. Vulcan actually did a lot. I didn't realize how much stuff they did. I don't think we've ever played any of their stuff, Boat. They did Bograts, Burnout, Genetic Species, Hilsey, Lido, Jet Pilot, Strangers, Timekeepers, the Valhalla series, Tiny Troops, and Europa 2. So maybe one of these days we'll come across any of those.
I haven't heard of any of those.
I haven't either. This was I wouldn't say it's a one-man band, but like a one guy and some of his buddy band, and that guy was the coder and all-around head guy, Peter Spinazzi. I believe it's the way it's pronounced, Spinazzi. You like that? This guy never did anything but this on the Amiga, as far as I could tell. In fact, everyone that worked on this, as far as I could tell, never did anything else.
Okay.
The musician was a fellow named Daryl Sloan, and also Spinazzi also did some of the audio. And then there's a long list of people that localized this and worked on the many languages in the manual and whatnot. This is an Amiga original and is not available anywhere else. So get this, Boat. When you get this disc, remember this is 97. So by this time, some suckers may have figured out a way to get a CD player on their, say, Amiga 1200, their Amiga 500. You know, maybe their Amiga 1000. Heck, I've got an external in here that came with mine. So people were doing it. So when this guy releases on a CD, you think to yourself, oh, this is for the CD32, or this is for one of the, big Amigas. Wrong. This supports everything from OCS all the way up to AGA, Boat, if you can believe it. And what happens is it will vary the quality of what you're seeing. What a novel concept this is.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much. I wonder, now, of course, in 97, they probably figured out how to do this more efficiently.
Right.
But I would love to see more games that were like that, because you don't have to worry about buying the AGA version or the ECS OCS version of the game.
Right. You don't have to worry about it. You can play it on anything you've got. In fact, I've got the minimum requirements here just to put them out there. This is optimized for 020s, but it'll run on 68,000. It's got full speech, a multi-language online manual on the disc, Boat, 3D stereo music and sound. There's a bonus game on here that's a 2-player bonus game. I didn't even look at this, but if you beat the game, you get a password that unlocks it. Also on the disc are all the demos for all that Vulcan has. So it's a little extra bonus. They put up all the demos of all the games that they've done in the past.
Very cool.
But yeah, not bad. I mean, that's not too bad. I'm assuming, by the way, I usually ask, you had not played this one up to this week or even heard of it, am I right?
Never.
I hadn't either. I'd never heard of this one. So, the plot of this game, and then we'll get into the actual, but the plot's sort of important here. And there is well, I'll let you comment on the opening. I don't know if you skipped it or not. The story in this has you in control of Theseus, Theseus is a hero, a Greek hero, and he's out to stop the Minotaur. The Minotaur gets an annual tribute of 7 girls. Hey, how do you sign up for that? Anyway, and so Theseus doesn't like this crap. So he's going to head down to Crete to go into the Minotaur's maze and try to take care of Bidis, the old labyrinth boat. You know how those Minotaurs are. They got to have one.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's got one. And so you've got to go and find all the girls that have been imprisoned and get them out of the labyrinth. So it's the same old story. This does have a, let's call it, no, I'm not going to lie to you. I found the opening of this high comedy. All right, if I'm okay, let's just. I'm not ragging on anybody, but it was the dopiest of dopey. The voice work in it was hilarious.
Okay, let's back up and set the stage here.
Okay, yeah, please.
So imagine the very, very early days of 3D.
Yeah.
Okay. We're past that now because it's 1997. But if you're working alone, you're still working with that template.
And he did do the opening, by the way.
He did everything.
Confirmed. Yeah.
He's the man. Okay. So what you have is like these it's sort of Dire Straits Money for Nothing music video level of
it's not, it's a little bit less squared.
Right, just less square. And imagine if you've got he wants to draw some scantily clad women, which he's able to do, and then you voice them with like your younger brother in the next room. So,
yeah. And one of those Casio synthesizer voice changers, you get them all. It's like, oh, get ya, Listen, I mean, it's a one-man band, and by the way, the opening of this is the weakest part of this game by a long shot. But if you love stuff like Birdemic, real dopey, hilarious, so bad it's good, this opening is definitely falls into that category. It is stupid fun. When Theseus talks, he's like, "I'll get you, Minotaur," and then we're seeing it now. The Minotaur is sitting in this chair, and he's got this like. I guess that's his magic wand or something. It
looks like he's getting ready to lead the marching band out on the field.
I like the idea that a Minotaur sits in a big chair. It's not an elaborate throne. It's just a chair. It's good stuff. So that is what ushers you forward.
He puts it up on the parapet.
Listen, when it comes to openings, that's my new favorite. I'm not gonna lie to you. I watched it over and over because it was so funny. I couldn't help myself. I found it highly amusing. So once you get past that wacky thing, you're into the game proper. Now, when this game starts up, Boat, you are treated to in my opinion, a lavish, colorful spectrum of joy that is set before you. This is a what would you call this? Top down, at an angle.
Okay, it's sort of pseudo isometric, but it's not at an angle. It's just it's top down at an angle. I'm going to repeat the words.
Wait a minute, you said you're killing me here. Now, when this first, because I did not know what to expect, by the way, especially to that opening. I hadn't watched any videos on this, so when this came up, I was surprised, real surprised. I thought this would be like some kind of Zelda type game or something.
Yeah, I thought after that opening it would be more like a point and click, like Gabriel Knight 2 type thing.
Yeah. So when this honed into view, what did you think? Explain to the people what we're looking at here. You're better at it than I am.
So we, Pixels points out that we have played one of their games before. We played Lords of Valhalla. This was the game. Okay. Remember the guy with the real dopey voice sample?
I did mention the Valhalla games. Yeah.
Okay, so we have played one of Vulcan's games before. This is very similar to that, except this is actually a good game.
Burial.
This is a top-down action puzzle game where you negotiate through a labyrinth of mazes and puzzles and enemies and traps to basically find your way to these girls that need to be rescued and eventually defeat the Minotaur. If you think about what other games does this look like, well, if you know the Lords of Valhalla, it looks a lot like that. This is also, if you think about a game like Zelda, it has that kind of Link to the Past, the 16-bit Zelda feel to it.
It doesn't play like it though.
Viewpoint doesn't play anything like it, but what it sort of does, it's more plodding and more slow. but it does sort of play like a Link to the Past.
I've got some blurbs here just to flesh out what this game does and does not do. I thought I'd go through some real quick. This is according to the back of the box.
Oh, before you do that,
Yeah.
another touch point is Legends. Remember that game Legends we played?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, well, it's the game that had the really dopey looking art before each level. There was the Native American guy.
Oh yeah, that game wasn't horrible. It just had some bad art.
But I mean, it's a similar viewpoint.
Okay, now it's
similar
coming back to me.
thing.
So this game features huge play areas. It features 50 frames per second of animation, according to the box. 3D stereo sound, hundreds of frames of animation. It runs on any Amiga with 2 megs, as we mentioned. Tons of gameplay variety, pickups including food, money, weapons, scroll, invincibility potions, and keys. Maze transformations. Flick a switch and the maze changes. That's true. And here's my favorite. Monsters have advanced artificial intelligence. Each monster is different with its own personality. Now that would have been a great. That's something to hang your hat on. And he goes into that heavily. You've got 5 powerful weapons, crossbow, mysteriously plasma rifles in there.
You gotta have one of those.
Because Theseus is well known for use of a plasma rifle, a fire blade that vaporizes any creature it touches, and my personal favorite of all the weapons, the nuke. Because of course, everyone knows that ancient Greece, they carried around portable nukes. So that's nice. There's a plot. It says as you play, 2 girls per level to rescue. Who could ask for more? Movable block puzzles, some ray trace animations. Yeah. And underground levels, good balance of strategy and action. That's the way it builds itself. I'd say it actually got some of that right, Boat.
I think every single word of that is right.
So I don't know the 3D animations, the
monster
ray trace animations. I'm gonna
stretching it.
So this game, as you play Theseus, you're going through basically we would describe this as a puzzle, I guess action puzzle game. Bo, does that seem fair?
Yeah.
And you go to this maze, and you're basically it's one of those games that you've got to get to different places, flip different switches. Move different things to get the level to open up in ways you want. There are switches. There are traps built into the floor. There are weapons that shoot back and forth that you can turn on and off. Teleport pads. Everything you would think you would see in a game like this, it's in here. I wasn't surprised by any of it, but very few games on the Amiga, in my opinion, have. And I'm not usually a big graphics guy, but this is for what this is, the graphics on this are quite nice. They are, everything is very smooth and quite beautiful. Everything runs at a nice clip. The game, you'd think a game like this on the Amiga would be slow. It actually runs at what I would call a decent level of speed. You know what I'm saying? Because we've played games like this that ran like molasses, Boat. This runs at an acceptable rate. I mean, it's not speedy, but it runs pretty well. And there's a lot of variety in the mazes. What did you think about this when you first started playing it, Bode?
I was shocked. I was shocked at the quality of this game. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I read about it before I started playing it.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I looked at what we were dealing with. Amiga game from 1997 on CD-ROM that was made by one guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Here we go. When I started playing this, I was like, this guy needs to be employed by a real studio, because this is great. This is a great game. It looks beautiful. This is, I mean, when we talk about console quality, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to console quality, not your bitmap garbage. This blows anything the bitmaps did away a billion times.
No.
Chaos Engine looks like AA garbage compared to this game.
Well,
Chaos Engine is a similar game.
Well, I mean, listen, there's no reason you don't have to bury other good games.
Well, I'm just saying, for guys that ride around in helicopters and wear cool guy shades, they need to take some lessons from this
Here's
guy,
here's the difference. I mean, they're actually, I hadn't thought about it, but there are similarities. But the Chaos Engine is a bleak look at a sort of a dystopian era on Earth, where this is much different than most games we play. It's bright, it's colorful, it's got greenery, it's got different sorts of textures, it's got reds and greens and flames, and the animations are tight. Like not everything is gray. It's got a lot of brown, but it's not that depressing C64 brown. They've got it textured nicely.
Yes.
Even your health bar is colorful.
Yes.
And so
yes.
Here's my thing, Boat. Maybe you've affected me over the years. Any extra bits of color that you could add to one of these games, it's welcome change.
Right.
Because of how bleak. Now, the Amiga's not as bad as the C64 is.
No,
but
nothing
still,
could be.
But still, it's nice to see something that's. I mean, your character. Look at him. He's got a blue cape. He's got a Greek helmet, although it looks more Roman than Greek, with the big red mohawk on it, silver armor. The guys you fight, when you kill them, some of them like just fall over, some of them explode, some of them catch on fire. The variety of guys are neat. The explosions that you come across are neat. Some of the effects are quite interesting when you teleport and stuff. I found the sound effects pretty pleasing too on this thing, Boat. Surprisingly, after that opening, I kind of like the sound on this thing too. Now, is this a perfect game? No. And for me, one of the problems is this game is pretty hard. I ended up ultimately put it on where I had unlimited men, but unlimited men doesn't get you past the puzzle. And so I often scratch my brow in a vain attempt to understand what I was supposed to do, because these mazes are confusing. Occasionally you'll come across a hint that will flash at the bottom of the screen underneath your inventory log.
It's very God's-like in that way.
Yeah.
That's what made me think
Well,
of.
hints are good because I need all the hints I can get in a game like this. Your weaponry, you'll find areas where like you'll be able to pass through walls. You'll find areas where you'll have there's one area early on where there's this huge room of teleporters, and so sometimes it gets a little tedious because this game has a lot of backtracking, and I mean several screens backtracking to get the right switch, you're going forward 2 screens to get the key, to go back 2 screens to open the door. Behind the door has the switch that you can open up the door on the 3rd screen. I'm not real super keen on that, if I'm honest, so I didn't think that part was that much fun. But I can't fault the game for that, because that's sort of what these games do, isn't it, Boat?
That's right. If you are into this type of game, you're going to come in expecting to do that kind of backtracking. You know, it's sort of a logic-based thing where it's like, okay, I see that there's a switch and there's a door, so I've got multiple things that I need to do before I'll be able to get in through here. The difference is what kind of window dressing. You know me, Aaron, I'm Mr. Topiary. And so whenever they have, nicely planted trees, there's fun things to look at. There's hedges. It's not just your typical dungeon master garbage where you've got the freaking 4 walls of the cave closing in on you. Now, is this realistic? Should the labyrinth have all of this stuff? No, we're talking about a freaking bipedal cow. It shouldn't, because it's not real.
Well, I don't know. He can fertilize his own gardens.
This is like your classic D&D dungeon crawl, not your stupid Amiga dungeon crawl. When you do it for real with tabletop role playing, and you've got a garden room in your dungeon. Why? Because it's fake. Because people like gardens, and it's a cool backdrop. You've got all of these different environments in which you can do. It breaks up the monotony of the fact that you really are just activating a bunch of switches and opening doors and collecting keys and destroying monsters. The sort of gameplay loop in this game, it keeps you coming back because it makes you wonder what's around the next turn. When I beat this, what am I going to see next? And this game does not disappoint. It gives you new things to look at, things that are animated, things that are colorful. It's wonderful. I love this game.
I didn't hate this game. I'll be telling you, visually, it's outstanding. Okay, there's no doubt. The play is tight and fair. Okay, I think, more or less. I thought some of the arrows and stuff that kept coming at you sometimes it's very difficult. There are plenty of places where you have no choice but to take shots, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rescuing people, not easy. I don't know how far you got into this, but it's tough. It's tough. I had to cheat just to get anywhere in this.
Well, I will say that this review is probably colored because immediately I turned on Unlimited Men.
Okay.
Because I knew that I would get frustrated if I didn't.
Yeah, you could get stuck. Thankfully, I looked it up. There's a way to get out of that where you're basically boned. That could happen. There's stuff in it that really doesn't fit the plot. I mentioned plasma rifles and nukes. There's also conveyor belts and stuff. The Minotaurs.
We're talking about a bipedal cow.
Well, I mean, you're right, but I mean, if you're going with the ancient Greece thing, I don't know, that they got a little weird. But I mean, it's their game. They can do what they want. But I did find this game pretty difficult, and not just like I'm getting killed difficult, just like I didn't know what to do difficult. And so I had to get help. I had to watch a walkthrough to get past some of it. The levels are password protected, so if you want to get past them, it's not that tough. It's also not tough to find. And thank you, Boat, by the way, for providing this game for me, because I had trouble getting the version I had to work. But Boat had a hard drive image with this, and it worked without any problem. So, which is nice. But it also had tons of cheats on it, which
that's
I
available on the EAB FTP site.
Oh, very good. Outstanding, Boat. So at the end of the day, looking at this game, like again, I'd say there's a lot of gameplay here. I'd say there are people that this is going to appeal to a lot more than me, because again, this is that sort of, and I know it's not the same, but you're going to into that realm of like your super duper Three Vikings type stuff, that I Lost Vikings things, and I don't have the patience for it, if I'm honest. But if you're going to make a game like that, if you're into those sorts of games, I'd say this is probably a decent little pickup here, Boat.
Yeah.
I was pretty impressed with it. Did we get any action from the Discord on this thing? I don't know if people bothered to try this one or not.
That's a great question. I don't know if we got any.
Well, I can tell you what we got on from the magazines before you get to the Discord.
Okay, man.
The people at Lemon gave this an 8.07, so pretty receptive to it.
Deservedly so, in my opinion.
Amiga Format gave this an 88. CU Amiga gave this an 87. I believe a demo of this game appeared in Amiga Format. I think it's the same issue, actually. So there was a demo release, and then they gave it a pretty good score. But I guess that's pretty much par for the course, Boat. So the fact that you can play this on any Amiga makes this sort of a must-try, I think. Even if you don't necessarily think you'll enjoy it, it's definitely worth looking at, just to see what they squeezed out of the Amiga, in my opinion. Did you get any action there, Boat?
Yeah, we got a couple reviews. First one comes from Alien Breeder. He says, Final Odyssey is a game I did not play back in 1997, but I have played it in modern times. The game is a bit of a mixed bag. The graphics are fantastic, some of the best pixel art of the era. The game itself controls well and has some really nice touches. Where it falls a little is the level design. I found it has a bit too much backtracking, which can sometimes kill the fun. The lack of music also hurts the game a bit. But overall, it's a great game from late in the Amiga's lifespan. I give Final Odyssey 810 top bananas out of 1,000.
Is that rating scale? Holy cow. Come on, Alien Breeder. Alan Breeder, if you will. Holy smokes.
Pajako6502 writes, a new game for me, and I liked it. It has a couple of bugs, and I managed to soft lock the game, so save games are a must.
Oh, yes, I did that too. I meant to mention that. I also had it lock up on me.
This is an action puzzle game that requires strategy and some thought. Some of it can be cheesed, and some of the puzzles are pure trial and error, like the switch maze. I made it to the first labyrinth with the time bombs, and at that point I turned it off. It didn't quite fit the theme of the game, and it felt a little tacked on. I think if I'd played this back in the day, I would have played it to completion, but the rigors of grown-up life meant that I didn't get as much time with this as I would have liked. But I could see myself coming back to it at some point, as it was fun to play. With great sprites that are reminiscent of Bitmap Brothers and good controls, it's a little flawed, but it's definitely one to check out. 7 out of 10. You know, Aaron, one thing that I do want to mention is how good the weapons feel in this game.
Oh, yeah.
You unleash the beast. No matter what you're shooting, you're shooting like 40 of them a second, and they stick in the wall.
Did you try all the weapons with the cheat?
I did not.
I did. They're cool. Like that.
Yeah.
They were a lot of fun. But it's ludicrous. Like Alien said, like you could throw out the theme. That's all gone.
Right.
Well, but if you look at the opening, the theme of this is "We're insane." That's the theme. So in that case, it fits perfectly.
So yeah, Final Odyssey. One of my favorite games of the year so far.
I will say, I did look this up on eBay, Boat. Here's a shocker for you, Boat. You ready for this?
Yeah, man.
You can get this in the U.S. There's a guy selling a copy, $22.49, $22. Takes us to the house, Boat, in case you want to pick this up. Well, it's in the. I don't think this came in a big box. I couldn't find any,
okay.
but it did came in a jewel case. $22.50, not bad, Boat. And if you're in the UK, you can get this thing all day long for 23 American dollary dues. So that's cheap, brother.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think you could do much worse. Now, I did read the entirety of the docs. You're not going to be getting a novel, But if anything, I recommend this game specifically for the opening because
Oh,
that does score
actually,
800. That does score 800 top bananas.
there is a bonus game that we should talk about, Aaron. Are you aware of the
The
bonus game?
two-player, yeah, I did. I mentioned
So
it.
the bonus game where you did?
Yeah.
I must have blanked out. Well, I'm sorry. Never mind. Continue on, Aaron.
Well, you can
What
talk about it. I didn't go into detail. What is the bonus
the
game?
bonus game is you versus the Minotaur in like a Bomberman like environment where and it plays Axel F, which is the greatest song of all time.
It is a great song. Do you remember who did Axel F? I know you do. You don't
No, I
remember?
no, I
Harold
don't.
Faltermeyer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little something for
I
you.
mean, there are several aspects of music trivia that you totally school me on. And when it comes to trivia surrounding the song Axel F, you destroy me.
Bam.
So, Aaron, speaking of destroying you, let's check out what's been going on the YouTube channel this week.
Thesis does not like that line, that's for sure. So, let's see what we got here at Botarini on the old YouTube. It was not a huge week. I don't know if we talked about this because since we recorded weirdly last week, I don't think we talked about your modded arcade video. Let's talk about that, Bo.
So this was something that I just shot pretty quickly, and I wanted to show off. One, because I'm trying to move this thing.
You trying to sell this thing?
I'm trying to get rid of it. Yeah. So I wanted to show off all the things that I did to it. So if you're interested in a modded arcade 1-up Pac-Man machine with a vertical build on a Raspberry Pi that has some cool stuff like an illuminated hotkey, some coin buttons, and of course you can play tons and tons of games on this thing. Check out this video that I put up. I don't go in depth with what I did to it, but I talk about all the mods that I made. And if you have any questions, drop me a line because I'm happy to help other people do this. This was a fun little project to do.
Is this what you use for the interface on the old joysticks, Boat? What I'm holding up here?
Yeah, that's
I knew
exactly what
I knew it.
used. Yeah. And I was very proud of myself because this was the first time that I used a drill press through some MDF and I didn't totally destroy it.
No,
because that's always a possibility. So
I got a question, Boat.
Yeah, man.
Because you got this cabinet and you did all this work. Why would you get rid of it? It would fit nicely into your menagerie down there.
The thing is that I want to set up some more computers, and I need to have some more wall space. And so I already have the main cabinet that does all this stuff, and I'd like this to find a good home. I'm not going to ask a ton for it because the cabinet itself was given to me as a non-working cabinet, so I sort of resurrected it. But I want to be able to set up some more computers. So I need to get some space freed up in the basement.
Very good, Boat. Very good. Good work, Boat, by the way. For someone who's done so many horrible things to so many bits of electronics.
Very true.
You actually did. I was very impressed with you on that one. Boat, we did a show on a real obscure Coco game. And I know what you're thinking out there in Amigos land. You're like, oh, the Coco. Not this again. These geeks. Wrong. This is the show that you Amiga types who love all these point-and-click games, you love them. You can't get enough of them. This is a Coco exclusive called the Interbank Incident, and we covered this on the Coco show in the past week. And Boat, this was your first go-around with the old Interbank. Tell them what you thought about the old Interbank. Give them a quick synopsis.
Listen, you want to talk about your games of the year. This one's in the running for the old Coco, which is this game does so many things that no other games were doing at the time in terms of point-and-click, icon-based interface, procedural generation of clues, a wide variety of characters to choose from, all of which have their own special abilities.
Yeah.
Plus freaking speech pack, man.
Yeah,
the
speech
sound
pack,
of the goals,
hard drive installation,
to the sea,
OS 9 support. It's got it all. This game came out of nowhere and then it disappeared just as quickly in ether. If you feel froggy, and if you ever thought to yourself, there's no reason for me to check out the Coco, that's for geeks. Wrong. You need to check it out, and you need to check this game out. This might be the one that brings you over. And at the bare minimum, check out the Interbank Incident on the Coco show released this week. Lastly, Boat, me and the Brent had a rough time recording this week. The Brent's been gold bricking, if I'm honest. fake sick. Oh, I can't get out of bed. Oh my God, I gotta go to the hospital. Oh, I'm dehydrated. All this malarkey. I'm not buying it. But I still, it's like when somebody sleepwalks, you just got to let them get it out of their system. You can't wake him up. You know what I mean? So that's what I did. I waited until he said, okay, I think I can set up right. And then we did the show. So it came out a little bit late this week. But this is our Halloween games episode, Boat. And
what's that game right there? That game looks great.
I don't know. This was just one of the games that came up our little thing. But this week we picked 2 games to try out. The Brent picked a game, an arcade game called Carnival. Boat, if you ever played that in the arcade.
I played this a bunch back. This
really?
was everywhere.
This was everywhere. Yeah.
I saw this at Tilt. They had this at the bowling alley.
To show you how far the Mortal Kombat series fell in one fell swoop, this outsold Mortal Kombat 4 for Midway. Yeah, that shows you. If you saw us cover Mortal Kombat 2 on this show a couple weeks ago, you'll realize that that's insanity. That shows you how far, and another one of Midway's many missteps. My game this week was a little game for DOS called Monster Bash. It's an EGA game. It's an Apogee game. It's one of those deals where you've got it's a run around jump platform strategy type game.
Where do you stand on these DOS platformers like Jill of the Jungle?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I didn't really get into it too much on the show, so I'll spill the beans now. Right, when I had a PC, right, but my buddies all had Amigas, right, and I got an Amiga. Okay, so I'm looking at these games and I'm like, man, these look pretty bad compared to what I could put in the Amiga, and I was right. Now people are nostalgic for them. Commander Keen, Jill of the Jungle. And I will say this one is amongst the better ones you're going to find probably. It's okay. But it's still, it's not its fault. They did a lot with a little. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's just the PC games feel funky to me, and they're not smooth, and also, a lot of it is you had to have the right PC to run them, you know what I mean? Right. Where the Amiga runs pretty much, run what it runs. So I don't have a whole lot of nostalgia for these. I know people love it. It's funny when I sold all my PC stuff because I didn't think anybody would ever care about playing in DOS again, ever, because it was so bad. But people are nostalgic for everything. And they look at the handful of really great DOS games. They're like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to hang my hat on. Don't be fooled. The DOS, at least the DOS when I was in the DOS, not so good. I know it's a controversial statement, but that's the way I feel.
You're a big fan of the ad-lib card, though.
I hate the ad-lib. That's something else. Everybody's like, oh boy, I got to get this gimmick that plays all this ad-lib music. Why? My God, you've got an Amiga, brother. Or a C64. It buries the sound deep beneath the earth. The C64 buries it. So anyway, a controversial statement. With all that said, we only had a couple things to talk about on the Stream Team channel this week. I don't remember if we talked about Rob's first of the 2 videos he did, which was this one's where he plays devilish games, but devilish games. This is from a couple weeks ago or last week, including tons and tons of Satan's Hollow, my personal favorite, a C64 exclusive, by the way, for the home market. And then he also has his usual pictures from, this time he went to one of the Halloween stores. He plays nothing but Satan games on this show, so it's good. It's Halloween
What's
stuff.
That? Satan's Cowboy?
That's Satan's Cowboy. Rob's in their channel. What was the one on the horse, Rob? I can't remember. Now, here is one. Man, this is great. And I've heard that 48K Ram's taking the rest of the year off, much to my chagrin. I hate to hear it. But this is 48K working, troubleshooting his BBC Master 128. Now, I'm happy to report that on this week's show, he successfully repaired this item. And it was glorious. And so that show should be going up next week. So stay tuned. But this is a great one to see what all he does. Because, listen, he gets in there and really goes to work. Sort of like a Chris Edwards style. He goes in there and just goes to work. And you get to see him doing it live. It's pretty cool if you're into that sort of thing. So give him a check out. That is our good buddy, 48K Ram. By the way, check out his channel on Twitch, 48K Ram on Twitch. Great stuff over there. Lastly, this is hot off the presses just from Wednesday night. This is Sprite Castle plays Galactics, another DOS game. This is a game he introduced me to. I'd forgotten about it. until I saw him. This is a space shooter game, but your spaceship has a grappling hook, Boat.
Oh,
and it
that
shoots
sounds
out,
cool.
and that's how you get your goodies. They come out in space, and
Ah.
you grapple them down. He
Cool.
played this like I think the whole show, like putting up a mammoth score. He got to the last level. In fact, he beat the last boss. I don't want to spoil it. You'll have to watch for yourself. But please check this out. It's our buddy Rob Flacco here. Flack's going to be joining me tonight for the big conversation of the dark side. So you know he's gold. That's why he's there. Because I was like, who am I going to get to take the heavy lifting off me? Big Douglas Dishwater Aaron. That's when I bring in the big dog here. Flack can talk all day and all night. He's always entertaining. I strongly suggest you give him a shot. That's all we've got, Boat, in the video department, my friend.
All right. Well, Aaron, it's time to talk about what we're going to play next week. What do we got on the dock?
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Because I don't even remember. Here we go. Exit.
Exit.
Hey, you ever heard of this one?
Never.
I haven't either. I have no idea what this is. It was the big winner, though. I believe it's a puzzle game, Bo, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. I think it's a puzzle game, and it was nominated for the AGSC to vote on by the one and only master moderator himself, streamer to the stars, Pixels at Dawn, who will also be in attendance at Amiga Ireland.
Oh, wow. Listen, representing his fine magazine,
Yes.
Amiga Addict, and we appreciate Amiga Addict, too. A great magazine. They're bringing it back to the people, available at all reputable magazine outlets, Bode.
Absolutely.
Except not in America,
absolutely.
but I'm hoping. Fingers crossed.
No, it's
Bode.
here. It's at Barnes & Noble, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
We
shut
just
my
don't have
mouth,
Barnes &
Bode.
Noble in West Virginia.
Well, yeah, I forgot, because it helps if you could read.
Yeah,
Well, we're working on it.
We're working on it, man. All right. We leave you now with the haunting love theme of Final Odyssey. And a little bit of the opening cutscene as we recognize all of our patrons and all of our Twitch subscribers. We hope you enjoy it. There's also a little bit of the music from the bonus game in there, too. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. Until next time, adios.
Adios. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.